All right, the recording has started. Welcome. We missed last week because of the holiday. Everybody have a great holiday? Yes? Awesome. It's already the 11th. It's already the 11th of the month. Extravaganza. When are y'all traveling? On the 25th, 26th? What date are y'all traveling, Sam? To Extravaganza.
We are traveling on the, 26th?
You'll be traveling on the 26th. So essentially, we got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
15, 16 days. 17 days until, 16 days, 27th, when it kicks off on Friday. But of course, travel day, Thursday, etc. You also got to take into account that leading up to that, there's going to always be the distractions of, getting everything situated before you leave, getting your business situated, getting your hair cut, getting your clothes dry clean, all those distractions, you know what I mean, that are time killers. So you really want to, we're 1/3 done with the month. 1/3, 33% is done. You guys got me? And then we'll be out we're not just out for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on the extravaganza. For most of y'all that are traveling, you'll be out for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a good part of Monday, if you're traveling back late Sunday night or even Monday. So that means that y'all really need to pay attention to your schedule and your time and energy management this month, okay? Because guess what month this is? Not only is this extravaganza month, not only is this July, but this is the first month of the third quarter. First month of the third quarter. This kicks off the third quarter. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, if you want to have a great fourth quarter, the end of the year, fourth quarter is what? October, November, December, right? So if you want to have a great fourth quarter, which sets up the new year, having a great fourth quarter, then you need to have a great third quarter. Everybody's pat yourself on the back for a great first 2 quarters of the year, okay? For whatever you did, for whatever you tried to do, for whatever you tried to do and maybe even came up short on, or for whatever you surpassed, whatever you tried to do, but you smashed through that goal. Whatever goals, I know how hard y'all been working. I know how focused you've been for the first 2 quarters of the year. But guess what? Just like in the beginning of the year, if y'all remember, around January, we said, snap your fingers, and it's going to be July. It's going to be July 4th, fireworks, all that. Y'all remember that? Snap your fingers. Boom. 6 months is going to go by quick. So it's always the same. It's always the same in how momentum works. The last 2 quarters of the year is the same. So snap your fingers and jingle bells. It's going to be Christmas time, right? So very, very important that not only with extravaganza month, which is this month, but it's also the first month to the third quarter of the year. Very, very important that y'all have a strong third quarter of the year. Now, I know that in general, the marketplace, come around August or whatever, in general, people have the vacation mentality or whatever. But as a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you can't succumb to that, because that's false. It's just, it's not 100% across the board that every single family in America is on vacation and doesn't care about making money and doesn't care about their health and doesn't care about losing weight and all that stuff. You guys got me? So don't ever for a second fall into that false trap as we come into, the later weeks of July. And then as we go into August, don't ever fall into that trap that it's summer and vacation and then you justify why you're not out there hitting it and doing the type of business that you were doing in the first 2 quarters of the year. You guys got me? Because that's a silent subtle little false trap that you can fall into, that some people fall into. It's all about what you're telling yourself is ultimately true. Does that make sense? You guys know that from reading the books that you read, personal development that you read. So whatever you're thinking about, whatever your beliefs are, essentially, it is what your reality is. True or false? True or false? I'm going to take a drink of this. I need some nutrition after that workout. Oh, somebody say, oh, good. Morgan is saying true. Okay, hold on. So I'll give you an example. I've known people over the years, including me and Monica, that August and December were our biggest months of the year. You understand? Biggest months, biggest personal production months, biggest group volume months, etc. Now, for those people that have big months, and I'll even say July, August, and December, which is kind of a holiday month, right? When the marketplace is in general distracted a little bit. How you have big months in those months is having momentum and already having the habit, work ethic, your schedule, being focused, being in a mission state mentality. If you've already got that going into those months, then you're going to be safe. You're going to be in good shape. But if you fall into the trap of thinking that it's, vacation time, everybody's on vacation, and you're going to wait until September, October, then of course that's the death trap for business. You guys got me? Y'all keep in mind, this is a momentum business. So you're either trying to get momentum, you're trying to build the momentum, or you've already got momentum and you're trying to advance momentum. Momentum never stands still. Y'all write that down. Momentum never stands still. Momentum is either going forwards or momentum is going backwards. It never stands still. Momentum can't stand still. You guys understand that philosophy? So this is a momentum business. So again, at y'all's level, the level that you're at, supervisor, or if you're not yet supervisor, trying to get to supervisor, or already active supervisor like Ren. And by the way, Ren qualified active supervisor last month, which means that this is her 4th month. She does it one more time, and now she's a world team member. See how brilliant that is? Now she's got the rhythm. Now she's got she's exactly, yay Ren down there from Morgan. She strung 3 months together, right? Got that habit going on, right? That work ethic going on, building that muscle, building that mental muscle. One more month, July, does it one more month, and now Ren is a world team member, not an active supervisor. Now she advances to the next level as a world team member. Now, would you rather be a world team member or an active supervisor or a senior consultant? Of course, you'd want to be a world team member. So all she's got to do is just do what she's done the last 3 months, do another 2,500 minimum this month, exactly what Morgan is saying down there, and she walks in to Extravaganza as a brand new world team member. And that's a big deal. Your title is a big deal. Here's 2 things. Write this down. You guys write this down. And by the way, if you're driving, don't write this down. I don't want you to hit a tree. But later, right, when you get home, what did we talk about last week? For those that were on or for those that watched it, one thing we really spent a lot of time on last week, at least 10 minutes, was repetition and going back and rewatching these so you can really get the notes down and learn. At y'all's level, you can't hear this stuff one time and think that you got it. You guys understand? You don't got it if you just hear this stuff one time while you're driving down the road. You don't got it. You got to go study this stuff. How you become a professional and how you master any craft, right, is by studying it. Study, 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 practice, 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 study, 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 repetition, repetition. They call it doing reps, doing the reps, doing the reps, doing the reps. So that's the same when it comes to learning. Do you guys think that at your level, if you want to make $10,000 a month, that you can listen to one of these calls while you're driving down the road like Kenzie and go, oh, okay, I got it. I got the key to the kingdom now. I got it, and I'm going to retain it, and I'm going to remember it forever. No, human beings we're not computers, you know? So we got to repetition, 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 hear it over and over and over and over and over and over and over until it becomes part of our DNA, until it becomes downloaded into our computer, because we've heard it so many times. Does that make sense to you guys? That's what when I was at y'all's level, that's what I always did. With Mark Hughes or any other good trainer, I'd listen to it over and over and over and over and over and over and over until I really got it in my DNA. Then I was able to start teaching it, and I was able to teach it with notes. I would have my notes, right? And then when you really got it is when you can teach it without notes. I don't recommend teaching without notes, but when you really got it, you can teach it without notes. I'm teaching without notes right now. I'm not saying I really got it, but I'm just saying I'm teaching without notes right now, because a lot of it I got. I don't got everything, but I got enough that'll make a big difference for you guys. Does that make sense? Now, let me go back to something that I was going to make a point on, okay? Title is a big thing, and there's two reasons why. Your title, your position. And by the way, I'm so proud of myself that I didn't forget what I wanted to say 7 minutes ago before I got on that repetition rant, okay? So I'm proud of myself, because usually I forgot what I wanted to say. So title, your position, is important for two reasons, okay? Number one, it's important to other people, right? Well, this is not in order of importance, but number one in terms of what comes to my mind, it's important to other people, your title. When somebody says that I'm an executive president's team member, and anybody that knows anything about Herbalife, you know, then they perk their ears up. They raise their eyebrows. That means I've accomplished a little bit in Herbalife, more than most. I'm in the top 1% in the world, right? So I'm not in the 99%, I'm in the top 1%, okay? So your title, when somebody says you're a world team member versus saying that you're a distributor or a senior consultant, it's a big deal. It projects to them that you're at a level that now their ears are perked up, their eyebrows are raised, and they're going to listen to you with a different ear. Does that make sense? Your world team member, your title. So number one, it makes a difference to other people. And I think the most important thing, so the real number one should be this: it makes a big difference to you, your title, who you are. Because the way that you feel about yourself and look at yourself about this business, confidence, I can't tell you how underestimated or understated having confidence is in any business, not just Herbalife, but any business or anything that you do in life, by the way. Make sense? Hey, here's how I'm going to make it make sense. Try to do this or anything in life that requires effort and that challenges you, right? And tests you, right? You go to the gym. If you've never been to the gym before, you start getting into martial arts, you start dancing, and you've never danced before, but you really want to learn how. Try doing that with no confidence and see how far you get. You got to get some confidence, right? In anything that you're trying to get good at. You got to develop some confidence. Does that make sense? So in business, isn't it important to have confidence? How you feel about yourself, your self-esteem, your self-assuredness, confidence in your own abilities, confidence in yourself, confidence that you understand, you know the knowledge, confidence that you understand how to present it, confidence that you can pitch it, that you can talk it, that you can walk it, confidence. You guys understand? I cannot tell you how important confidence is. Your title, when you achieve a higher level, achievement, guess what? Achievement gives you what? What's the magic word? When you achieve something, it gives you what? Celeste, Come off mute. I'm not going to sit here and just preach and preach and preach. Sam, anybody? Celeste, hurry up and hit that mute button. Unmute.
Confidence.
Thank you. See, most of y'all are going, it ain't a trick answer. I've been saying the word, I said the word 400 times, confidence. So achievement gives you confidence. When you achieve, it gives you confidence. When you sell shake, tea, aloe, cellulose, and a total control, guess what just happened? Not only did you sell those products, but now you walk away and you can beat your chest a little bit. You have confidence. So it's all those small confidence builders, daily confidence builders, daily achievements that keep you growing and keep the momentum going and keep you moving. Now, when you advance your position in the marketing plan, your title, then that's another area that gives you confidence because it does everything. I know Morgan is driving. Where'd she go? I'm looking for oh, there she is up there. Maybe I don't know who's driving, Alcie or Morgan. Who can talk? Morgan, can you talk or are you driving? I'm not sure who's driving. Now our thing just froze up for a minute.
Yeah, my service just might go in and out.
Oh, got it. Are you driving or is Alcie driving?
Alcie's driving.
Okay, good. So help me out on this deal here. Do you have more confidence now with your new title? Oh, you just switched. I can't find you. Oh, there you are. Your screen just went dark. Okay. Do you have more confidence now as a global expansion team member because you advanced your position? You've achieved a monumental level in the company. Do you have more confidence now, or did you have more confidence in January of this year?
More confidence now.
Yeah. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how much more? Probably a 10. 20, 30. I can't state it strong enough how important it is for you guys to make those achievements. You got your daily confidence builders, which are your daily achievements, all the way down to just selling the products. Those are achievements. Getting the new customer is an achievement. Getting a repeat order, getting a referral is an achievement. Signing up a preferred member is an achievement. Signing up a new distributor is an achievement. Getting your new distributor qualifying for the DAP program, there's another achievement. Achievement. All those small achievements, daily achievements, those are platforms that you can stand on where you have new confidence, and every new platform raises you up, right? And when you're on those platforms of achievement, now you believe more, you see more, you believe more about yourself, you feel better about yourself. Don't y'all feel great about yourself when you make those little achievements every day? And I'm talking about even the little subtle, small ones, getting a customer that orders $100. Doesn't that make you feel good? Because of what's going to happen to that person and what it can turn into gives you confidence, okay? Now, how do you feel when you go 3 days and you don't talk to anybody about the products? You feel horrible, no confidence. So I think you guys get the point. Very important that you keep your confidence to the best of your ability at an all-time high. And the best way to keep your confidence at an all-time high is a couple of ways. Number one, activity and production. Write it down. Again, if you're driving, rewatch this and write it down later. Activity and production solves all problems. Activity and production solves all problems. You got a money-making problem? Activity and production will solve that. You got a confidence problem? Activity and production will solve that. You're feeling a little bit stagnant in your business? Guess what? Activity and production will solve that. Plan of action, activity and production will solve that. The daily disciplines, doing the daily grind, daily achievements will solve that because it gives you confidence. And then success breeds success. Daily achievements breed daily achievements. Confidence breeds confidence. Success breeds success. Customers breed more customers. New distributors breed new distributors. Getting a new person going to the extravaganza breeds getting another new person going to the extravaganza. I mean, how many of y'all in the next 16 days are going to be trying to get more people to the extravaganza? Raise your hand. Or are you done? Or are you done? Or are you like, okay, I'm going, I'm set. Can't wait till the extravaganza. I'm set, I'm going. Okay? No. If you want to get to that $10,000 a month that we talked about in the last few weeks, then you got to work it. You got to work the extravaganza 2-minute warning deadline. Like the next person that you get to the extravaganza that hasn't even committed to go yet. It could already be a distributor that you have. It could be a customer that signs up as a distributor, whatever. But let's say they're not going yet, but in the next 16 days they do go. That could very well be your first president's team member underneath you in the next 2, 3, 4 years. You guys understand that? So play the next 16 days, the 2-minute warning extravaganza push, play it like that. What would y'all, who would you be, what would you act like for the next 16 days if you knew, if you could look in the crystal ball and you knew that the next person that you convinced to go with you to the extravaganza ended up becoming a president's team member and even ended up becoming the next Garen Jones? Now, how hard would you focus? Now, how excited would you be in the next 16 days about getting whoever it is? You don't know who it is, but what you do know is whoever it is, the next person that you get a ticket to the extravaganza that shows up for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the extravaganza and doesn't leave at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning, but I'm talking about they go to the extravaganza and they stay at the extravaganza. They get their life changed and they become the next Garen Jones. And they're going to be first line under you. Then how are you going to play the next 16 days if you know that's going to happen? You guys understand that? Nod your head if you understand that. How you going to play it? How you going to play the next 16 days? Now, here's what I want y'all to do. That's not a little fantasy story, that's not story time here, okay? This is reality of what happens in Herbalife. This is better than the lottery. You understand? If we were giving away in the next 16 days, if we were giving away $10 million in a raffle, and we were splitting it between you guys, one of y'all is going to get it. Wouldn't you be excited? Because those odds are pretty good. That if one of y'all that's on this call tonight is going to get $10 million in the next 16 days, if you just get one person, one more person that hasn't committed yet to the extravaganza. You got to play little games like that to get yourself jacked up and fired up. Because then guess what? When you do that, then you show up different, you talk different. Whenever you are presenting to your person, you talk different to them. You got a different energy about yourself. You got a different focus. You got a different fire. You got the eye of the tiger. You're sure. You're so sure that it's going to happen, right? And then when you communicate to people like that, they pick up on that vibe. They feel that, and they feel how confident and solid you are in your posture and in your position of whatever it is that you're trying to communicate to them about. Does that make sense? That's why this stuff is important for you to get your mind right and sell yourself on this stuff so you can, talk to people with a championship mentality. Because if you talk to people with a championship mentality, what are the chances that you're going to have better odds? Better odds of them saying yes. Better odds of them actually becoming a president's team member. But if you're lukewarm over the next 16 days, and if you've already thrown in the towel and said, well, I'm going to the extravaganza and I'm excited about it, but you're not even thinking about getting somebody else, then guess what? You're not going to get somebody else. You bring about what you think about, right? So if you ain't thinking about bringing somebody else, if you ain't thinking about signing up your next president's team member, then what are the chances that you're going to sign up your next president's team member? Well, slim to none, because you're not trying. It's a mental game. It's a mental muscle that you got to work up here. And sometimes you got to play tricks on yourself as a game to get yourself worked up enough to say this can really happen. How do you think for a minute how anybody in big business becomes millionaires or becomes successful or whatever? Do you think they got to play little mental tricks and games on themselves to get themselves worked up sometimes? Yeah. It's easy in Herbalife because we got so much proof and validation. So many people, if you look at the top 10 people in North America, probably 9 of them signed up in the last 5 to 6 years. Not 35 years ago. Probably 9 of them signed up in the last 5 to 6 years. You guys understand? 5, 6, 7 years. That's pretty astounding. Garen Jones signed up 5, 6 years ago. Okay? Jorge and Disney signed up 4.5, 5 years ago. Pyme signed up 4.5 years ago. Alan and Fabi, this is number 1, 2, and 3 in North America, signed up 4.5 years ago. Okay? So it happened then. It happened in 2012, 2013, 2014, and it's going to continue to happen. Do you think in the next 5 years, we're going to have some superstars that we have not yet heard of yet? Think about that for a minute. Anybody? Sam, Celeste, Ren, somebody, come off mute. Morgan. I need to talk to somebody. I don't like talking to all these muted people. Somebody come off mute.
Of course.
And stay off mute. Who said that? Oh, Celeste. Good. Me and Celeste will have a conversation since nobody else wants to unmute. Okay? So think about that for a minute. For real. Okay? Now, Celeste, Mark Hughes used to teach us, do you know a good way to predict the future? Here's the best way to predict the future. Take a look at the past.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you can predict the future. Okay? Especially in Herbalife. Okay? Especially in Herbalife. So you take a look at the past, what's been going on. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I said it 10 years ago. I said it 5 years ago. I said it 15 years ago that the next superstars, the next millionaires in Herbalife haven't even signed up yet. And then guess what? Jorge's parents were in the business and signed up Jorge that didn't even want to do the business 5 years ago. Now Jorge has broken all the records, and he's the first person in the history of Herbalife to have a $140K check in the history of Herbalife, and the youngest. You guys understand? Broke all the records in 4.5 years. And he was a bartender. He's like 29, 30. I think he's a year older than Disney, but she's 29. Really? Hooters waitress. Okay? How does that happen? Is it going to continue to happen? Well, whether the next person gets to 140K royalties or 70K royalties or 50K royalties or 30K royalties is regardless, doesn't matter. The point is we can predict the future. We can predict the future and know that it's going to continue to happen. That's what we know. And we also know that where it happens, the biggest, the fastest, and the bestest is at the extravaganzas. That's where you get the big picture. That's where you get the clarity. That's where you get the certainty. That's where you get the vision. That's where you get herbalized. That's where it gets injected into your heart, and it's the point of no return, and you're never coming back. That's the extravaganza. So don't you want to have people there with you? Don't you want to have people there with you? You guys got that? Celeste, you can get somebody else there in the next 16 days. If all your hey, here's how I'll prove it to you. If I give you $1 million to get one more person to the extravaganza in the next 16 days, would you get one more person to the extravaganza? Yes or no?
Of course.
The answer is of course. You see how easy that's an easy answer. Of course I would. Of course I would. Probably what she would do, she would go get anybody and says, listen, hey, I'll pay you $50,000 to go to a 3-day weekend. And then out of her $1 million, she only gives up 50. She would figure it out is the point. You got what I just said? You would end up figuring out how to get somebody there. You would get somebody there if that was at stake. You were going to get paid $1 million. So play the game like the next person you're going to get there is going to earn you $1 million. Play the game like it's going to be your next Brian Holyfield or Style Bell or Guerin or Enrique or top 10 person, top 20 person, top whoever, president's team member. They don't even have to be in the top 10. They can get on the president's team, and that's going to set you up for at least $250,000 in residual a year if they would get on the president's team. You understand that? That's pretty significant. What if you got somebody to the extravaganza, okay, and for the rest of your life, starting next year, $250,000 a year for the rest of your life in Herbalife? How much would you love Herbalife then? Think about it, guys. Think about that, Celeste. How much more would you love Herbalife if you're making $250,000 a year inside of Herbalife?
A lot.
You probably like it $250,000 more than you do now. You know what I'm saying? You'd like it a lot more. Trust me, Herbalife is a lot better and a lot funner when you're making a lot of money. And also when you got a lot of people underneath you making money, successful, grinding out there, loving it, Herbalized, going to the extravaganzas, etc. Right? So y'all just think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. You got one shot, 16 days. One shot, 16 days. It's not over. You can get people to the extravaganza. Okay? I got Bob Gray to the extravaganza. It was less than 30 days away. Now we got 16 days. And by the way, the extravaganza he went to, you had to be a supervisor. You couldn't be a distributor and go. You had to be a supervisor. So different qualifications back then. Okay? So anyway, recap, and then I'm done. And then we'll open it up, y'all, and then we can let y'all go. Okay? Anybody wants to ask questions, talk, share, whatever y'all want to do. Because I love to hear from y'all too. And I know y'all love hearing from each other as well. So to recap, this is the first month of the third quarter, and it's critical that you focus and that you're not in vacation mentality and don't get sucked into vacation mentality from other people or the marketplace. And it's important that you focus this month. Already knowing that you're going to be out of pocket for several days with the extravaganza and probably a couple days leading up to it and maybe a day after, you know, because of travel days. That's just how it goes. Then that means you got to double up on what you're doing right now, right? Double up so you get them points on the board. Because we already 1/3 of the month is gone, and then we snap our fingers and another third's going to be gone, and then I don't want y'all to be in panic mode. So y'all start being in 2-minute warning mode mentality about your month right now. See, Ren needs to get her world team qualification in before the extravaganza. That's how you play the game. You don't say I've got a 31-day month and I'll figure it out after the extravaganza. No. Get it in before the extravaganza, then you're not stressing, then you can have a ball at the extravaganza and not worry about it. You guys got me? And then you walk into the extravaganza with a certain level of confidence about yourself versus biting your fingernails, wondering how I'm going to become a world team after the extravaganza. You see the difference? Okay? So get yourself in that sense of urgency, 2-minute warning mode now, already knowing that we'll snap our fingers and you know, it's going to be the 21st. Then snap your fingers again, it'll be the 31st. Okay? And then, so we got that. 16 days till extravaganza. We got the first month of the third quarter. Okay? And then we got to have a great third quarter so we have a great fourth quarter momentum, which sets up the new year. You can have the best year of your life not just your life, but your herbal life and your business life in 2019. But it all depends on what you do in the third and fourth quarter of this year. All your dreams can come true in 2019 based on what you do in the third and fourth quarter of this year. Okay? And it's a package deal, by the way. You guys understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You can't have an incredible 2019, okay? Because we don't want to be like delusional here. We want to be realistic. You can't have an incredible 2019 by taking off July, August, and September mentally, and then going out there and trying to kick some butt in October, November, December. Doesn't work that way, because then you lose all your momentum, and now you're spending October, November, and December trying to get your momentum back. You understand? So you want to put your foot on the gas, put it on the floor, don't let up in the third quarter, July, August, September. That way you have tremendous momentum going into October, November, December. And then you celebrate a little bit for a day or two, go out to dinner, celebrate whatever, okay, in October after the third quarter, and then go hit it again for another 90 days for the last quarter of the year, and then that sets up the first quarter of next year. And if y'all string together 3 quarters, if you can focus, and I know you can, y'all are mature adults. I know y'all are herbalized too. All you got to do is focus. You got to work this focus muscle. You got to work your confidence muscle. If you can string together 3 sets of 90 days or 3 quarters, the third quarter, the fourth quarter, and the first quarter of next year, trust me, you will have the most amazing year you've ever dreamed of in 2019. That's all you got to do. And my question to you, in just the same way as if Mark Hughes was asking you, is that too much to ask? 3 quarters of your life, 3 quarters, 390 days of your life to set yourself up to have the business you've always dreamed of, to have the income that you've always dreamed of, to have the freedom that you've always dreamed of, to have the achievement, the accomplishment, the confidence, to become the person that you've always dreamed of. Is that too much to ask to string 3 quarters together? Think about that for a minute. Is it? Yes or no?
No.
What do you think, Ren?
No, that's not too much to
That's
ask.
not too much to ask, is it? That's not too much to ask. Is that too much to ask, Sam? Is that too much to ask, Earl? As you try to work through your technical camera situations over there? All right. I'll just assume that you agree with everybody else. Okay? It's not too much to ask, folks. Okay? But if you understand momentum, and I know you do understand momentum, it's subtle. It's subtle. I'm telling you, you can work your butt off, and then you can mentally be on vacation. You can still be doing Herbalife, but you know what it's like when you're intense and you're focused and you're in a mission state mentality versus just existing. We know the difference. Okay? You know the difference. Okay? It's a big difference. Okay? And if you take your foot off the gas mentally, then it always takes you 3-4 times as long to feel like you get back the momentum, to get back in the groove. Just kind of like working out in the gym. If you're out of the gym for 2 weeks, whoo, that's kind of the death zone, the point of no return. You might not ever come back, or you might come back. It's a toss-up. So you better get back as quick as possible. You know, and then it takes you a couple, 2 or 3 weeks to get your body, get your rhythm back into it, et cetera, et cetera. It's the same with business. So don't let your foot off the gas. Don't let your foot off the gas. Yes, Earl.
Hey, Glenn, thanks for the call. Thanks for all your hard work and everything that you're pouring into us and getting us ready for Extravaganza, the biggest event of the year. First thing, I've been reading, like what Glenn's been talking about with personal development. the biggest thing next to self-confidence and when it comes to business mastery, Glenn has been talking about that throughout the entire call, and is anticipation. Being able to anticipate. If you notice that Glenn has been talking throughout the call, he knows everything with the seasons. And he was talking about, I was speaking with Glenn last week. He was saying, Earl, what happened to you? This is the last, it's the end of the first half of the year, and you aren't on the call. And just to share my story, something happened with my family, a lot of stuff been going on, and I didn't communicate with him effectively. But the point is, when he was speaking, I could tell he completely understood the significance of that moment, the significance of that time. All right. And now what he's speaking about right now, he's speaking about the significance of extravaganza and getting ready for these next 16 days and anticipation of the next 3 quarters of our life. And that's with any business as well. Not just with Herbalife. That's with any business. Being able to anticipate the season, being able to anticipate what can happen, being able to anticipate what's going to happen going forward in the future. That's really significant. And another thing is, Elsie, are you still there?
He's driving.
I don't know if he could. Or Morgan.
Oh, there he is.
Can you say something? Can you get up?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
All right, cool. Because he's alive. Both of them are live, 2 live examples right now. And I know I can speak to this. I know Glenn can speak to this as well. So what Glenn is talking about right now, guys, he's talking about how right now it's about building momentum and setting up your next year, 2019. So Elsie's a huge example of what's happening in Morgan, of the seeds that they've planted. A lot of people see momentum right now, and I kind of see some of the comments that they get, and some people like, "Oh my God, you're so inspiring," and all that kind of stuff now. So Elsie, let me ask you this: when you first started, were you getting those kind of comments? Like when you first started, like you was like, "Oh my God."
Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Right. Now, so tell me about a percentage of your signups that's come from seeds that's been planted about 6 months or more ago.
It just come as I just was talking to Gail and Brandon and them. It just come with just always showing up and always keeping yourself focused on your dream. Like, I don't know what your dream is, but my dream is to one day, have my family set up forever for generations to come. And so when people are saying no to me and they're not signing up, and they're signing up but they're not doing the business, I never lose focus. I always put myself right back to my dream, and I live my dream every day, like no matter what happens in the outside world. And that just helped me stay focused, and that's just how I talk to people too. And so when I talk to every single person like that and I give them all of my energy, they never forget that. And so whenever they're ready, they know who to come back to. They know who door to knock on. That, and that's why, I'm now getting those comments that I'm so inspiring and I'm such an inspiration. But when I first started, I was, they were saying I was spamming. I was,
Right.
That's not who I really am. They was
Exactly.
me being the wild guy, the crazy guy, the drunk guy, the not concerned guy. And so it's like, for me to be changing, it's like, he'll mess up again one day. But what I just started to do to actually, build that momentum, my business-wise, I just started adding new people that didn't know me because they was going to see me for who I was. I mean, for who I am today versus for who I was.
Preach.
Yeah. And I don't know in the direction that you're about to go, but I just want to tell you guys, like, I have 18 people that committed to Extravaganza, first and second line. And I think it's 18. I'll have to count them again. But I know for sure 4 of them already backed out that actually got tickets. And one of them actually converted to a preferred member. But I'm still focused on my dream. I still live in my dream every day. And my goal is, like, no matter what, like, I need to get 4 more people there.
Right, exactly.
Because it's not too late, And, you know, the seasons do change, but your dream doesn't. So just always just stay focused on it. It's really simple. It's really not hard. It's only when you get to playing inside of your own head, doubting yourself and wondering if it's really for you and it's really not for you, and can you really do it? When you get to doing all of that, then it gets hard. But if you focus on what you want and you know that's what you want without a doubt, it's easy. Like if you know, if you have a kid and you raising your kid and you know you want your kid to have the best thing, you're gonna always teach that kid the best stuff. Or you know, you have a car, you only gonna put the best gas in it. So this is the same way. Only put the best thoughts in your mind, and then you know it's gonna become a reflection of who you are.
Awesome. Yeah. What I wanted everybody to really hear is what LC. A lot of the things that LC just mentioned was everything Glenn was saying at the very beginning. And first of all, LC just talked about focus. He talked about consistency. He talked about keep going, and obviously what he did at the beginning, he planted seeds. So what Glenn was talking about right now, so for these next 16 days, is about us giving it the best we have. Make sure we focus on, hey, things could change. And the bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. So what Elsie just mentioned, the only way he could have 4 people, quote unquote, not commit to go anymore or whatever is because he focused on getting so many people to go. Now he's like, okay, you know, like Mark Hughes been teaching us, no problem. I'll get 4 more. And I personally have no doubt, and I think everybody on this call has no doubt that he's going to get 4 more because he's focused on it, right? So that's the main thing, guys. Let's focus on that, and for these next 16 days. And what Glenn is saying, as hey, you don't know, a Garrett Jones can pop up in your organization. Garrett Jones can pop up in the organization, and let's talk to people like that with that focus and that clarity, and the anticipation we're getting from a person that has over 25 years experience in this company that we're blessed to have, understands the anticipation of the market, knows how to get us prepared for this, and let's take full advantage of it. And this is something that's huge. That's going to change a lot of lives on this call. I guarantee the people that go to the extravaganza, that anticipate, take full advantage of it, focus on doing their best to get as many people to extravaganza for these next 16 days, are going to be getting a lot of pins, a lot of recognition, a lot of VIPs, a lot of promotions. And they're going to be like, oh, well, I can't beat them. It ain't that. It's just that they took what Glenn was saying seriously. It's really that simple, you know. But I'm excited for everybody. I'm excited for everything on the call. I'm glad to be on this call. Just to share a quick story. My wife, a lot of you may know that there's some serious things been going on with that. You know, she's getting better. So that's been having me a little bit out. But the bigger the problem, bigger the paycheck. And that has even made me more focused and realize that how big this opportunity is, because in order to be able to help my family even more, I know this is the vehicle, you know, to continue to help. Because I would not be able to do a lot of things if I didn't have that passive income check coming in, you know. So, I know a lot of people don't have that, and I'm grateful to have that. Thank God for Get Team. Thank God for Glenn putting me at this level to be able to have those checks coming in. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Great job, buddy. Thank
Blessings,
you. Give it up.
Blessings, brother.
Hey, so real quick before I forget, y'all pay attention. Then if anybody else got anything to say, then y'all can talk after I talk, and then we'll let y'all off. This is very important. If you're paying attention, raise your hand, raise your finger, anything. I want y'all, because I know after some time you start maybe, you know, dozing off or whatever. Maybe not, because y'all are nervous. Maybe you ain't dozing nothing. I'm just assuming, right? So this is very important because every single year it always happens. Okay, and then we look back. Y'all have heard of fine tuning, celebrating, and fixing. Have y'all heard of that? Fine tune, celebrate, fix. You know, they definitely, they call it something else in the military, you know, decompress and something. I'm sure Sam knows decompress, and then they go in a thing where they analyze the whole thing. I can't remember. Herbalife did a military thing one time with us. They had all the military come in and teach the president's team how they did all their stuff. But the bottom line is Herbalife, we use the term fine tune, celebrate, fix. So what I've noticed what I've noticed during and after extravaganzas sometimes leads me to tell y'all or share with y'all what I'm going to share with you right now. So here's a couple things. Number one, the agenda. They went over the agenda with us, corporate did, on our last president's team call on July 2nd, Monday, July 2nd. They went over the agenda with us. It's going to be the most mind-boggling, life-changing, mind-blowing, mind-altering, physically altering experience you've ever experienced in your life. Let's start with that. This agenda. It's an agenda like they've never had before. It's going to be jam-packed with so much recognition throughout the weekend that it'll make your head spin. Now, recognition is so important, and we're not talking about just bringing a bunch of people on stage and giving them flowers and giving them diamonds and saying great job. You guys know what happens for y'all that have been to extravaganzas before. Everybody pay attention. You guys know what happens that have been, but for you guys that haven't been, what's so key about some of these recognition sessions is these people get the mic and they get to tell you where they come from and how they, not just who they are, but where they come from, who they are, how they did it, and they start dropping gold nuggets on you. Through the tears, by the way. Through the tears, while they're crying, through the tears. And they made it. And they tell you about the struggles, and they tell you about this and that. And I'm telling you, the recognition sections, when these people start talking, they got over 50 brand new president's team members. They're going to be doing that. You want to hear from 50 brand new president's team members? How life-changing you think that? If you just went to extravaganza and got to hear from 50 brand new president's team members and went home, that in itself would change your life forever. Trust me. So when you're there, I'm just letting you know that. So that's number one. So it's going to be an agenda for the ages. That's number one. Number two, Sunday morning. So that means party on Saturday night, but get your butts in bed and don't be drinking alcohol and abusing your body so you're hungover on Sunday morning, because Sunday morning and Sunday, the whole Sunday, but definitely Sunday morning, starting it off, is the knockout punch to the weekend. Sundays are why you come to the extravaganza, not just Friday and Saturday, okay? And who's paying attention? Raise your hand, because I'm fixing to get to my main point. I want to make sure y'all pay attention. So check this out. It never fails. And some of the people that I am closest to the most in the past, I find out that they left at noon on Sunday. Oh, I had to catch a plane home. That was the last plane I can get, so I left at noon. And then they missed Enrique Carrillo. And then they missed Jorge, or then they missed Garin, or then they missed or one and the other, because it's jam-packed on Sunday with the best of the best superstars. I got a question. Raise your hand if you want to miss all of the superstars in Herbalife on Sunday. Raise your hand if you want to miss that. Raise your hand if you want your people to miss the knockout punch on Sunday. Any part of it. You guys got me? So I'm just sharing this with y'all like right now instead of sharing it with you with regret after the extravaganza. I've already experienced this before where some of the people I've counted on the most, like really good people, like it would be a huge, like it's almost like this, that on Sunday I found out that Alcee left at 11 in the morning. And then, or that Sam and Trey flew back at 11:30 a.m. right before they announced Disney and Jorge and Alan and Fabi and Johan and Paimi. because they're all doing an hour and a half recruiting section on Sunday morning. You guys understand? But that's happened to me before, okay? And it seems that every year it happens to, somebody in the group left on Sunday morning because they couldn't get a plane back or whatever the excuse. Well, what I'm going to say, first of all, it's easier this time because most people, you're not having to fly across the country except for Sam, okay, Sam and Trey. But most people, a lot of people are driving because they're around this area or whatever, Louisiana, whatever. So, but what I would say in any situation like that is wait till the next day. If you can't get a plane back on Sunday night after the event, then just suck it up, stay in the hotel, and go back Monday morning. Because the point is you cannot afford to leave halfway through Sunday and miss all the superstars. Because that's when your life gets completely altered forever. And that's the stuff that's going to take you to the promised land. You guys got me? Okay. So that's for you. That's for you to know. But that's also for your people that are not on tonight's call, for you to have a connection with them and say, hey, come here. I need to share something with you. And then sit down with them and talk to them sincerely and say, listen, I just want to share with you this. I want to share with you that. And I want to make sure that you're going to be there until it ends on Sunday. Not, no, I got to get back to the kids and I got to go feed the dog. That's called staying broke mentality. And sometimes you'll hear that from your people when you talk to them. By the way, when you talk to your people, you don't reprimand them. You don't come across, like you're the drill master and stuff like that. But you do talk to them. Just talk to them with compassion. And by the way, this is prevention. Because you don't want to go through what I've been through before. Alcie, you do not want to find out on Sunday at 11:30 that Terrence just left because he had to go home and feed the cat. Because then you'll be like that for the rest of Sunday. Then it's going to throw you into oh my God, I can't believe my best guy left. Oh my God, and he left right before they introduced Jorge and Disney. The biggest check in the company in 38 years? Really? And he just left to go feed the cat? He's driving home? He could have waited. We could have convoyed home together. You don't want to do that, right? So anyway, I'm just telling y'all that right now so y'all can avoid any of those unnecessary or what they call in sports, forced errors. Those are preventable. But some of your people, they don't know any better because they're young. If they signed up 6 months ago, they're children in Herbalife. They're children. They don't know any better yet. They make a mistake. Okay? So you guys get the point. If you need to have some talks with your people, any of your people that are going, get them one-on-one, get them face-to-face, get them on a conference call, do whatever you got to do, but make sure that they're there until the last piece of confetti falls on Sunday. And make sure they're there when the first piece of confetti falls on Friday. You guys got me? And then finally, make sure that during the event, you're in the event and not out in the hall taking selfies and explaining the marketing plan to a sideline that you just met from Vancouver, and now you're explaining the marketing plan in the bathroom for 45 minutes, and then you miss Jorge and Disney's whole section. I see that all the time. People out in the halls talking for 30 minutes while the superstars are down on stage teaching, and they're out in the hall talking forever. Seriously, it's that important? Get your asses in your seat. Excuse me, but I know Alcie wanted me to say that. Get your butts in your seat and get what you came for. The hallway will be waiting for you at intermission. So if you're ever in the hall, people stop you. Hey, tell me about this. Hey, Earl, come over here. Let me stroke you and pet you for a little while and tell me all your secrets. Don't you fall into that trap. Oh, well, I do this and I do that. And now 20 minutes later, and you just missed the most life-changing section of the weekend. But the thing is you don't even know you missed it because you weren't there. You guys got me? I'm just saying, I'm giving y'all a little clue. Success leaves clues. I'm giving you a clue. This was how I was brought up in Herbalife, and I was taught this by Mark Hughes. You get your butt in the seat. You got to use the bathroom. Hold it as long as you can if a good section is going on. And then the second that they break, run to that bathroom and run back and get it back in that seat. You understand? And all your meal planning stuff, hungry, stomach's growling, blood sugar dropped, great. Guess what? Make sure you bring a cooler bag. Make sure you got an ice pack in there to keep whatever you need cold. Bring a cooler pack to the seat with you if you get hungry, and have it already packed so you got no excuses. And you're sitting there going, oh, this sandwich is so good. Tell me more, Jorge. Oh, this sandwich is so good. Oh, pie me. Tell me how you got to 70K. Tell me how you became a multi-millionaire from that little roach-infested apartment you lived in 5 years ago while you're eating your whatever, your meal prep, instead of being out in the hall waiting in a 3-hour line for food and missing the section. Do you guys understand the concept here? This is prevention here. We're playing prevent defense right now, sports fans, okay? That way we don't have regret on Sunday, right, for you or for your people. This is the fastest way for you guys to become millionaires in Herbalife. Be a learner. Learners are earners. Take this extravaganza serious. Of course, have fun, but also take it with the utmost of seriousness, like this extravaganza is the ticket for you becoming a millionaire in Herbalife. Take it with that mindset. Capiche, everybody? Okay, any comments, and then we'll close. Alcy.
I just want to just give a story really quick. I was at the LDW, and I actually got caught. Somebody asked me something, and they was like, oh, I've seen you on Facebook, and they was giving, they wanted some information, and I was just excited that somebody was like finally listening to me. And it'll happen to you. And Tia from Monroe, Tia out of Monroe from Croatia, she came, grabbed me, was like, hell no, you need to be in here. And as soon as I walked in, his name is Aaron. I can't remember his last name, but he's president's team. He was talking about Fit Camp and how he built his Fit Camp. And at the time, I was doing Fit Camp and was trying to reconstruct it. So I walked in like at the right time. I was like, dang, I would have missed that if she wouldn't have grabbed me. If she wouldn't have grabbed me. So that's definitely factual, you guys, what you just said. It definitely happened to me.
And that's why I brought that up, because when I said that they're going to stroke you and pet you, that's what I'm saying, because sometimes you're not used to it, and all of a sudden it feeds you. You don't realize it, but it feeds your ego that somebody actually is like, oh, like you're the superstar. Tell me all your secrets, and then you're like, oh, I am, and all of a sudden you get trapped without even knowing that it's happening, and you just miss 15 minutes of whatever. Happens to me all the time. People stop me and they want to know the secrets. And I go, the secrets are being shared on stage right now, baby. I can't tell you anything that person on stage ain't going to tell you. Get your ass in there and sit in the seat. Now, excuse me, I don't say that to people, but you know what I'm saying? But you want to, but they're new. They're new people. They're new people, and they'll sit there and, oh, tell me this, and what do you think's the secret? The secret's being in there and learning. Being in there, learning, having patience, learn. Not being in the hallway. Anyway, you guys get the point. Okay, anybody else? And we're closing out here. We're late on time here. All right, everybody good?
Yes.
Okay. Make sure that when we post this online tonight, everybody hit the love button. Everybody hit the comment button. And make sure that you're going to go watch this, because obviously with 16 days, this stuff is time sensitive, and you want your people plugged in to the same time you're plugged into. Understand?
Yeah.
Awesome, everybody. Can't wait to see y'all in 2.5 weeks. And we'll see y'all on next week's call as well.
I'll
Thank you, Glenn. Thanks, guys.
see
Good
you
night, everybody.